Hello and welcome. You're watching the Daily V News, and the news stories for today are:
President Truong Tan Sang welcomes the Chairwoman of Bulgaria's National Assembly after her arrival in Hanoi. The Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army holds talks with his Chinese counterpart in Beijing on bilateral defence ties. The outdoor Saigon Flea Market brings young people in Ho Chi Minh City together.
President Truong Tan Sang welcomed the chairwoman of Bulgaria's National Assembly, Tsetsika after she arrived in Hanoi on April 16th. He says her visit will help to enhance the already established strong friendship between the two countries.
President Sang said he is delighted at the positive development of political ties between the two countries, which he said is an important foundation to expand cooperation in every field. He believes that the friendship between the two countries gives Vietnamese businesses an excellent opportunity to penetrate the EU market, and said that Vietnam would gladly act as a bridge to link Bulgaria with the ASEAN market. For her part, the Chairwoman said that the top-level political dialogue between the two countries has produced positive outcomes and confirmed that her visit is to further relations in the context of a changing world. She praised the efforts made by over 30,000 Vietnamese citizens who are studying and working in Bulgaria, and added that the presence of Vietnamese businesses in Bulgaria will help them access the EU market, as Bulgaria is an EU member. Later the same day, the Chairwoman met with Lê Hồng Anh, Politburo member and a standing member of the party's Central Committee's Secretariat.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng received Governor of Japan's Prefecture of Aichi, Mr. Hideaki Omura, in Hanoi on April 16th. He pledged to provide favorable conditions for cooperation in trade, investment, and tourism between Aichi and Vietnamese localities.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng said Vietnam always wishes to further increase cooperation with Japan in all areas, and join hands with Japan to boost the sustainable, long-lasting strategic partnership. Japan is one of Vietnam's largest direct investors and major trading partners, and has been the largest official development assistance provider to Vietnam for many years. Dũng noted that the countries can further boost their economic cooperation if they fully tap all potential and advantages. In this period, he said, he wants Aichi Prefecture to work closely with Vietnamese ministries, agencies, and localities in implementing cooperative activities, contributing to the Vietnam-Japan comprehensive cooperation. Hideaki Omura said that many businesses from Aichi Prefecture are interested in doing business in Vietnam, with more than 100 Aichi firms already investing here. He confirmed commitment to continuing taking measures to promote cooperation in education, health and tourism between Aichi Prefecture and Vietnamese localities, as well as creating favorable conditions for more Vietnamese students to study in Aichi. The same day, a memorandum of understanding on training for doctors and nurses specializing in cancer treatment was signed between the Health Ministry and Aichi Prefecture. So every year, a doctor and a nurse are invited to take part in a one-year training course in Japan.
Senior Lieutenant General Do Ba Thi, Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, and the Chinese counterpart Chen Bingde affirmed the role of defense ties as a pillar in the comprehensive, cooperative strategic partnership between the two parties and states at their talks in Beijing on April 16th.
After a solemn welcome ceremony for General Di, Chen Bingde, Chief of the General Staff of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, stressed that the current visit to China by Vietnamese officers not only promotes the traditional friendship between the two parties, states, armies and peoples, but also creates a dynamic force to begin a new step of development and further strengthen confidence between the two countries and armies. For his part, Di stressed that the Vietnamese-Chinese friendship holds important strategic significance for both countries, as well as for peace, stability and common development in the region. Developing a fine and sustainable neighbouring friendship with China is always Vietnam's policy and a top priority in its external policy, he said. Regarding East Sea issues, the two sides agreed that armies must be the vanguard forces in strictly implementing agreements between the two countries' senior leaders, including the agreement on fundamental principles guiding the settlement of issues at sea. They agreed to continue implementing cooperation in the field stated in the two ministries' protocol and focus on exchanges of delegations at all levels and personnel training in future.
Representatives, academics, and the mayors of 32 cities from 16 countries and territories around the world attended the 13th World Conference of Historical Cities. The three-day conference took place in the former imperial city of Hue on April 16th.
At the biannual conference entitled Defining Universal Heritage, Challenges and Solutions, the delegates discussed the best ways of preserving and promoting the cultural values of historic cities. The conference includes a forum called Youth Awareness and Action in Promoting Heritage and Traditional Cultural Values, a seminar on challenges to industrial heritage and solutions, and a debate on heritage policies and action plans for better local governance. First founded in 1994, the League of Historical Cities now numbers 92 cities, including Hue, which became a member in 2006. Hue is the first city in Southeast Asia to host such an event.
The Prime Minister has approved the master plan for Thanh Thuy Border Gate Economic Zone through 2030 in northern mountainous Ha Giang Province. The zone will provide an important trade way for North Vietnam and China, as well as ASEAN countries and Northeast Asia.
The Thanh Thuy Border Gate Economic Zone covers 7 communes in Vị Xuyên and Phương Độ districts, with a total area of over 28,000 hectares. It shares a 26-kilometer-long border with Wonsan of the Chinese province of Hunan to the north. The zone is a combination of such sectors as trade, service, industry, and agroforestry. It will be developed into an economic, cultural, and tourism center with a population of up to 40,000 people by 2030. Provincial People's Committee Chairman Dan Van Dong said the province will provide tax incentives to encourage investment in the zone.
The outdoor Saigon Flea Market is held regularly in Ho Chi Minh City. It features a unique combination of a traditional Vietnamese market and the kinds of markets that sell second-hand goods around the world.
Held every month, the Saigon Flea Market usually attracts over 1,000 international and local visitors, especially young people in the city. The items on sale include vintage and modern clothes, retro collectibles, toys, home decorations, handmade artifacts, and much more. The market management group approves the store after taking into account the suitability of the vendors and the products they propose to sell.
At the market, all the vendors get to know one another. Our flea market also promotes products that are made in Vietnam, including arts and handicrafts.
The money generated by the market supports community and charitable projects to enable homeless and poor children to go to school. In response to the city's green campaign, almost every product sold at the market is made of recycled materials or has an ethical origin.
Now, everyone tends to use environmental-friendly products. This market helps young people to contribute to this program.
Apart from promoting Vietnamese goods, the Saigon Flea Market also supports young traders or student designers who are trying to make a name for themselves, as well as art and craft-loving enthusiasts from the city and overseas.
And that's the last bits of news for today. Thank you for joining me and goodbye.